Assalamu alaikum. Today on Norn Academy, we discuss the ethics of autonomous warfare. If you benefit, please support by subscribing and sharing as a sadaqah.
So let's begin with a question. A question that really challenges thousands of years of human history. For as long as we've existed, human beings have carried the burden of warfare. We were the ones who chose, we were the ones who acted, and we were the ones who had to answer for those actions. But what if that entire equation is about to change?
What if the most critical decisions imaginable, literally life and death, were no longer made by human hands, but by lines of code? And look, this isn't some science fiction movie plot. This is the dawn of a new age in warfare. And it forces a pretty terrifying question on all of us.
Okay, so let's dive right into this. To really understand the ethical dilemma here, we first have to get a handle on what these autonomous systems actually are and how they're already changing the battlefield today.
Now, this is the crucial point, so let's be really clear. We're not just talking about remote-controlled drones here. We are talking about true autonomy, where a human being is deliberately taken out of the loop, removed from that final moral decision to use lethal force.
And what's really striking here is the sheer capability that's being built. These systems can see, they can coordinate with each other, they can even learn from what's happening on the battlefield. This is a fundamental shift of power, moving it from human hands directly into computer code.
And this massive technological leap forward, well, it creates this terrifying ethical vacuum. You see, when we remove the human from the decision-making process, we don't actually get rid of the guilt, we just hide it. We create this accountability void that we absolutely have to confront.
This, right here, illustrates the core of the problem perfectly. We are essentially replacing the most vital human moral faculties, things like conscience, intention, and direct accountability, and we're swapping them out for the cold, deterministic, and often hidden logic of an algorithm. So you end up with these impossible questions that, frankly, purely secular or technological frameworks are just failing to answer. When an autonomous system makes a mistake, who's really responsible? The machine itself, the programmer who wrote the code, the commander who deployed it? Who?
But let's turn to our own tradition. Let's see how Islam, with its profound emphasis on moral clarity and responsibility, actually gives us guidance here. For us, you see, this is not some unsolvable puzzle.
Our beloved Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, give us a principle that cuts directly to the very heart of this issue. He taught us that every single action is weighed by the intention behind it. And here is the undeniable truth. A machine has no niyyah. It has no sacred intention. It has no soul, it has no fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and it has no moral conscience. So from a truly Islamic perspective, it's simple. You cannot delegate a moral act to a thing that has no morality itself.
Our tradition has always demanded that innovation be guided by ethics. For centuries, Muslim scholars and leaders have developed these incredibly strict moral codes for warfare, always emphasizing justice and the protection of life, even in the middle of a conflict. The principle is timeless. Power must always bow to morality.
The Islamic answer, then, is profoundly clear. Technology might be the tool that carries out an action, sure, but the human being who designed it, who built it, and who deployed that tool, that's the person who always answers to Allah. Glorified and exalted is He. And this illustrates such a timeless principle. Knowledge, ilm, without that divine trust of moral responsibility, that amana, it doesn't lead to progress, it leads to danger. And technology without accountability, well, that just becomes a tool for oppression. So, what does all this mean for us today? Right now, living in this moment of incredible technological change. And especially for those of you who are working right at the forefront of this technology.
This is a direct message to you. Your work, your knowledge, it's shaping the future of our world. And your role in this specific moment is so much more important than you might realize.
The crucial point is this. Your skills, when they're guided by your faith, by your taqwa, they are absolutely essential to protecting humanity. Your faith isn't a limitation on your work. It is the moral compass this entire industry desperately needs.
So this is the sacred responsibility that falls to our generation. As the world rushes to automate power, it is our duty, our amana, to bind that power with conscience and with accountability.
Presented and created by Norin Studio.